Hello and welcome to Adventures in Venueland, an EVMC podcast. Join us for this all-access pass backstage and behind the scenes with some of the brightest minds that cross the scope of the live event industry. I'm Dave Rettelberger.
And I'm Paul Hooper. We'll introduce you to incredible guests who journey with us as we dive deep into the world of venues, tours, festivals, and everything in between. Grab your laminate and meet us in Venueland.
We've got another special episode for you today in our Breaking In series. We're exploring growth in the industry. And today's adventure is going to take us inside the artist growth journey from club stages to sold-out arenas and even the immersive world of Sphere in Las Vegas. As we continue celebrating 25 years of Messina Group, we're digging into how artists actually grow, what it takes to move from 500 cap rooms to global stages, and how the marketing strategy evolves every step of the way. And today we're joined by Rachel Powers. She's the vice president at Messina Touring Group. She leads tour marketing, promotional strategy for some of the biggest names in country music, and also helping break in some new stars too. And we're excited to talk to her all about it. Rachel, how you doing?
Hi. Hello. Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're excited to talk to you here on the pod finally, and
Messina Touring Week.
Messina Touring Week.
Messina Touring Week.
We're celebrating.
Takeover. I love it.
That's all right.
You have to follow the fabulous Kate McMahon, and that's never an easy. I'm sure that
No.
you're with that every day of your life.
Oh my gosh. She is the best of the best, and I will never be able to follow her. So I will do the best I can to be a close second.
Well, hey, I know I appreciate you. And actually, you've got some great stuff you've been doing, but for folks who, I kind of, gave the official version there in the intro, but what is it that you do for Messina Group?
Yeah, so I am vice president here at Messina Group, and I have had the absolute pleasure of doing all the tour marketing here for Eric Church, Blake Shelton, Zach Brown Band, and Ty Myers. So I have worked with Blake and Eric the longest, a little over a decade now for both of them.
Wow.
And most recently, Ty Myers and Zach Brown Band. So very happy to be a part of some of the coolest artists out there.
Yeah, you did the whole Gather Again tour, which, by the way, was one of the most meaningful days in my career. The day that we got to reopen here in Columbus, a Nationwide Arena with Eric Church was our first big show. And it was just, I still get goosebumps just thinking about it. That first time after the pandemic and we had live music again. And it was just, that was a really special tour.
It was. I saw you out there at that date. That was one of the coolest things. I mean, everyone is still wearing masks, and it was that whole vaccine policy. It feels like a million years ago. Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. So yeah, that was definitely one of the coolest tours. I remember when we were having conversations about Eric wanting to get back out on the road and what that meant and what live music means to everybody and have people gather again. And that's what we did. And that was definitely a special tour for me as well.
Well, we're talking all about breaking in today, so let's get to Ty Myers right now.
Let's do it.
I actually pulled him up on Spotify this morning as I was checking him out because he's playing a show here locally, and 5.2 million listeners already. But you've kind of helped that journey along the way. Let's talk about that artist growth specifically for Ty.
Yeah, this has been one of the coolest things in my career. I give all the credit in the world to him. He has the talent. He is an incredible songwriter, guitarist, and I have to mention that he is just 18 years old. So
he's amazing.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Oh my God.
What have I done with my life?
Let me tell you what I was doing at 18, and it was not a career.
Right.
So he's eons ahead of his time. He is, first of all, just the coolest human, but I have a really fun story about how I came to work with Ty. So I live in a little suburb outside of Austin, Texas called Dripping Springs. Ty's dad, Michael, he's a musician as well. And Michael had played all over Dripping Springs. We have really cool bars and wineries and distilleries out there. So I had seen Michael play a couple times. There's all these really weird stories of he knew Ty's parents knew my in-laws and helped my father-in-law with some real estate at one time. Ty's dad played my mother-in-law's 60th birthday
Oh my
party.
gosh.
So like all of these run-ins, but I never knew Ty's parents directly. But I would
Yeah.
just, see his dad performing. And one day this sweet little 12, 13-year-old kid got on the stage with his dad. And I looked over at my husband and I was like, holy crap, this kid is incredible.
No way.
And yeah, and I was like, I'm just like, wow. And I didn't really think anything of it after that day. I was just like, wow. Well, fast forward a couple of years later, and I was having a conversation with another industry friend, and they're like, man, our hometown kid is really crushing it. And I was like, this is wild to see because I've been kind of watching him over the years. And I learned that his manager was Narvel Blackstock, who also manages Blake Shelton, who I've worked with for the last 10 years, and not only has become a dear friend, but truly one of the best managers in the industry. And I was thrilled to hear that Ty had him as a manager. So I called Narvel, asked if we could have a conversation, and I told him I wanted to be a part of this, whatever that meant at this level. And Narvel graciously said, yes, please come on board. And I officially met Ty and his parents shortly thereafter. And so I've been working with Ty for almost 2 years now,
Wow.
doing his tour marketing. And that started as just, making sure that all the venues on the routing had correct assets or had the correct tour name or like very small things like that
Yeah,
just to
yeah,
get
yeah.
kind of everyone organized. And you know how that can be. Sometimes like
Yeah.
a club needs to go on sale this Friday, but then the other ones go on sale the next Friday. So it started off really, really small, just trying to get people on the same page, making some artwork. And then, wow, his song is all of a sudden on radio. I think we need to develop a radio spot for him. He has an incredible publicist. Let's make sure we're teaming up on getting a press release out and making sure like all of the clubs are servicing the same thing. So that's kind of how it started 18 months ago. And now we just launched his biggest tour, the legal tour. We went on sale this past Friday, April 3rd, and it is bananas. I mean, he's playing Moody Center and Dickies Arena, closing out the tour. And I could not be more proud. And
Wow.
yeah, the best kid with the best family and the best team. So I'm just happy to be on
Yeah.
the ride.
It's got to be kind of interesting too. Like you mentioned your other artists you're working with, and those are obviously arena, sometimes stadium, festival level acts. And then you're now getting involved in this, Ty as he's kind of growing, and especially 2 years
Yeah.
ago, it was much smaller venues. Was that kind of fun almost to like be down on that club level? And probably I could see it being like both good and bad, right? Like you have all this experience from the theater arena side where you're like, all right, I know what we need to do to kind of rein in the
Yeah.
tour and keep like messaging consistent and all these things that you don't always see at the club level. But I'm sure it
Right.
was also challenging because now you're bringing that experience down to the club level, and those clubs are like, we don't even know what you're talking about. Like
Yeah.
we're used to working with like local art or whatever it is. So it's, I mean, was
Totally.
that like a fun challenge? And do you think that kind of, I'm sure, like gave you all an advantage because you sort of had this wealth of knowledge from bigger venue marketing?
Yeah, you're right, Paul. It definitely was a challenge. I mean, some of these clubs are owned and operated. So I was talking to the owner of the club, and everyone is so lovely and so kind. It was just a little bit of a learning curve on all of our ends. And just being able to get in there too, like on the radio side and making sure that all of our radio partners are taken care of from the base level. But it definitely was a learning experience, and I got to sharpen some of those skills that I have not used in quite a long time.
Sure, sure.
That was that was really cool though. So it's been great.
One of the things that's, I know is a priority for Messina Group is, that connection with the artist.
Hmm.
You have that relationship with the artist and their management and take it, and almost in a personal connection with that. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, I mean, if I can go off on a little like side story to answer this
Please.
question, little tangent here. So the way that I came to work with Messina Touring Group is the whole basis of exactly what you said, Dave, the artist relationship and how that is above everything else. And we always put the artist first. And I was an intern in college at the Frank Irwin Center, rest in peace, here in Austin.
Many moons ago, yeah.
Many moons ago. I just aged myself, I think.
It was a great
And
building. It was a great
it was
building.
a great building, the Drum. And we had some horrific wildfires here in Bastrop, which is right outside of Austin. And I remember when I was interning that we all kind of came together and was like, we want to do something for the community. We want to do a benefit concert. Well, within, I don't know, in my brain, my 20-year-old brain, I was like, oh my gosh, like in 2 days, I felt like this entire show got pulled together. And I was like, how did this happen? It was George Strait, the Chicks, Lyle Lovett, Christopher Cross, I think was on it. I would have to go back and fact check that. But it was the coolest lineup. And they're like, oh, we worked with Louis Messina on it. And he pulled this together. And I remember thinking, a man that can pull that kind of talent together in 2 days for a free show, I'm going to work for him one day. And the stars aligned very
Yeah.
quickly after that. I've been working with him for 13 years now, but that was all relationship based. To call and, it's just a testament to what him, Kate, and Ro McMahon have built here. And all because of the relationships that he had with these artists. And of course, they're amazing people and wanted to help the cause, of course. But that is the basis of everything that we do at Messina Touring Group. And so because of the relationship that I had built with Narvel already, because of the 10 years with Blake and the trust that he had in us, he was willing to, to let us have a crack at Ty. And it's again, like, I just love Ty and I love his family, and it all is relationship based. Absolutely.
What was it like, kind of marketing those smaller shows? Like, if there is, let's say there's an artist that tunes in and they're like, maybe you haven't discovered them yet, or, maybe hopefully they're a little bigger than playing with their dad, but, they might be tuning in and thinking, what can I pull from this that might be a good, a way I should approach whenever I do get that first club tour. What advice would you give? What did you learn along the way? How do you kind of market the artists and also, market in these small venues that have smaller capacities? What can you kind of tell about that?
Yeah, I would say the biggest piece of advice that I can give any artist, really, but especially at the ground level, is make sure that you own your data.
Mm,
However you need to do that. That is something that's really difficult. I know, like, getting buyer data and all that stuff, and that is something that is imperative, though. Know your fans from day one. And whether that's like setting up community or some sort of fan base, email list, SMS, just get that data started from day one. And then that will help your future marketing. Absolutely. But I think on the more traditional side of things, consistency. It makes you look like a pro when
yes.
every show that you put on sale has the same photo of you, same artwork. And Paul, you probably know better than anybody. Like, the budgets are like $5 sometimes.
Right.
You
Yeah.
can't do too much in terms of buying media, but just having a consistent message out there, making sure that everyone is doing pre-sales at the same time with the same password, and even social copy looks consistent across the board. And
Yeah.
that all is free.
Yeah.
It's just to make sure, but it does take a lot of coordination across the board. So that's what I would say. Just make sure that you have your brand dialed in and it's consistent across all of your shows.
It is literally a little bit of like faking it till you make it. Like,
100%.
if you are mimicking what you're seeing these bigger tours do with this coordinated announce and coordinated on sale and pre-sales and art and everything,
Yep.
people are going to think you have that behind you, whether you're a really small artist, even though you're mimicking someone that is playing Sphere. Like, I think that's a great point. You're kind of putting this well-crafted kind of message and out there, which I think, it does take a little time, but is clearly worth it whenever you're trying to build your brand.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That is exactly what it is. And I do it every day. Fake it till you make it.
Amen. Amen to that. You were just a part of a huge 8 show sold out run at Sphere for Zach Brown Band. I mean, when you're looking at the artist journey, right? You're marketing at the club level, or even the arenas. What did you take from that helped you put together a big, special, kind of historic run like this?
Yeah, nothing could have prepared me for this, truthfully. I am so thankful that the one and only Kate McMahon had Kenny Chesney in there prior to me. So I was able to soak up as much knowledge as she was able to give to me. But Sphere is unlike anything else. And that's the only way I know how to describe it. And so Zach Brown Band became a client of ours fairly recently. And it has been such an incredible journey, talking about complete opposite of Ty, who's been in the industry, 3
Right.
years and 18, to go to Zach Brown Band, who is seasoned musicians, touring artists, and aside from that, the best humans on the planet as well. But when we started working with Zach and the band, Zach had always wanted to play Sphere. His agent had walked him through the construction zone of it
Oh,
when it was
wow.
getting built. Yeah. So he knew
Yeah.
that that is what he wanted to do. So we walked in and our first project together was Sphere. So like, okay, we're still feeling each other out. We're still getting to know each other. And on top of that,
Yeah.
let's go do this historic run at Sphere. So it was truly incredible. And it was called Love and Fear. And the creative was a journey of Zach's life. And it started with him as a kid and talked about some really tough topics, domestic abuse and violence, and all the way to the end of the show where it's so light and bright and it's about redemption and happiness and finding love through fear. So it was a really, really cool, like 2.5 hour journey through Zach's life that no one's been able to see before. So a peek behind the curtain, and the graphics were just absolutely incredible. And it was such a fun thing to do. But, marketing in Vegas is a different beast in
Yeah,
general.
right. You've got a little competition. There's a
There's a few
couple
other
other
things going on in
events,
town.
couple other events going on. Well, plus you like to state the obvious. You're really. It seems like Vegas marketing. You're marketing to the world to some extent,
You're
and at
totally right.
least across the states because. Unlike, certainly other cities have people visit it, but man, Vegas is such a tourist destination. And you have a big bright light of an event run at Sphere, and you're going to pull in Zach fans from Guam and China, and like things that they
Right.
may not come over for a date in the States otherwise, but they're going to come for that. I mean, that's got to be really interesting and a challenge.
Totally. And again, every day when I thought I knew something, I did not. So we just continued to learn through it, but it ended up being so incredible and beautiful. And you're right, Paul. It's like, there's definitely what we call in the marketing world, like feeder markets, right? Like markets that would drive to Vegas or easy flights to Vegas, California, Arizona, that kind of thing. And then you look at the artists as a whole, and Zach has a massive fan base in the Northeast. Boston. He's done 14 sellouts at Fenway Park,
Wow.
and we're about to, we're well on our way to number 15 this year on the tour. But you look at then where the artist pulls from and you put that into the equation. So it was a
Data,
really,
right?
really
It's
fun,
back to that data too.
100%.
You were just talking
right?
about it, you
And
have that
owning that
data from
data.
all over. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Knowing who your fans are, where they come from, and how to reach them. That's basis of everything that we do. So it was it was truly beautiful getting to live out one of Zach's dreams with him through this year. So that was super cool.
Speaking of Zach's dreams, did you see him spearfishing on Survivor? That was
I sure did.
insane. It was insane. Some of the most beautiful cinematography I've ever seen. But that was. I think, yeah, you should put that on your list of spearfishing with Zach Brown Band.
Oh my gosh, man of many talents, that one. And we had so much fun along the way with that show. We got to do some really cool events to help hype it up. We did a free fan pop-up show at Desert Five Spot in Hollywood
Cool.
for him, which was so, so, so fun. We ended up doing a Zach Brown Band Day at Fenway Park, where we made it because he has such amazing history there. the Red Sox and Fenway worked with us to do like a curated tour that was just around Zach Brown Band. And then Zach actually popped out and surprised everybody,
Cool.
which
That's
was
awesome.
so much fun. Yeah. His management team came up with that idea and we were able to execute. So it was just such a fun ride. All the things that we did around here.
Rachel, what I'm hearing is that, whether you're doing a club show, an arena show, or somebody who just did a run at Sphere and launching a huge national tour is, you're getting creative, all along the way. You're not, it's not just send out the ad mat and hope tickets sell.
Right, exactly. And I think that's one of my favorite things about marketing. And Louis says it best. He's like, the marketing is the foundation of everything. And it truly is. I mean, it's the way like you walk out at night at a show and look around, and it's such a cool feeling to say, oh, everyone is here because I told them about it in some capacity.
Yeah.
Right. You invited them all to your party.
I invited them to come and look at this party. My favorite artist. That's so cool. But yeah, that's one of my favorite parts about marketing is there is some black and white to it that my brain needs, but the other part is creative and also instant gratification, which I love to see. So it's like, let's try this strategy. Oh, it sold tickets, it worked or it didn't work or something like that. But it truly is like the coolest thing to see everybody in the arena, in the stadium, in the club, wherever it is, and the fans connecting with the music and then making new fans for people who might not have seen the artist before. So yeah.
Well, maybe we're gonna put a pin and circle back when Ty is playing Sphere and however many years from now.
I love
we'll
that.
Get to revisit this episode.
I love that.
And then Zach Brown at that time will decide to do a really intimate acoustic tour, and he'll be touring small clubs, and it'll really just show you this amazing, wealth of the artists.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, it's been such a cool thing working with Zach Brown Band and it really is incredibly humbling having someone of that stature trust us at this point in their career with their next chapter.
Yeah.
Very cool to bring in, a little bit of my expertise and hoping that I can work off of what they've already developed. So it's been a really awesome couple of years from like every side of the spectrum.
It's so cool what you're doing there, and thanks for helping us understand a little bit more as we continue to celebrate Messina's 25th anniversary and the fun with you and Kate this week. Hey, I really appreciate your time, Rachel. If somebody wants to reach out to you to learn more about something you mentioned today, or just to pick your brain on something, what's the best place for them to reach out to you?
Yeah, email is always best, or slide into my DMs. Always happy to see you on Instagram too. Yes, but please reach out. I love having conversations like this. It's what energizes me. I love my job. I love the artists that we represent. I love my colleagues. And if anyone wants to talk, please reach out.
You're going to have people sending you videos of them playing shows in bars around Austin, and they're going to be like, Rachel, we need you to come see us.
Come see us now, because in 3 years.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully, right?
Always happy to do
story.
That.
I know. Own your data. Get your data. I know. What a great tip. I love that. Great tip.
Sure.
Yeah. Get your data, own your data, make sure that you're in charge of it. Know your fans and cater to your fans and meet them where they're at.
There you go.
Rachel, thank you for the time today. Really great talking with you.
Thank you so much. It's good to hang out with some old friends. I love this. Thank you for having me.
And a big thanks to everybody for listening to this episode, a special episode, Breaking In with Adventures in Venueland. Remember, you can subscribe and find more episodes, the traditional ones, and our special series as well, wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. We do love your 5-star reviews because it helps other folks find us. Until the next adventure, I'm Dave Rettelberger.
And I'm Paul Hooper. Thanks for listening, everyone, and happy Messina touring week. And, congratulations to them on the big anniversary year. And maybe we'll see some other episodes pop up later this year.
A little teaser there.
Ooh,
Adventures in Venueland is a side project of the Event and Venue Marketing Conference, a marketing conference that brings together diversified event and venue professionals to cultivate education, collaboration, and innovation for the growing sports and live entertainment industry. Find out more at eventvenuemarketing.com.
Audio editing and mixing by Camille Faulkner.
Design and digital advertising by Megan Ebeck.
Copywriting and publicity by Samantha Marker.
Guest booking and brand strategies by Paul Hooper.
Guest research by Dave Rettelberger.
Marketing strategies by Paul Hooper, Megan Ebeck, and Samantha Marker. Thanks for joining us. Until the next adventure.